So I am live right now. There is no one in the chat yet, so I'm just going to drink my coffee and just wait for people to join because it's my birthday. And actually, maybe we're live right now. I just saw the screen go on my other one. But yeah, so it's my birthday, and I decided to do a live stream because I don't know how long I'm going to be here. It might be like half hour, might be an hour. I don't know. I've got stuff I need to do, so we'll see what happens. But I'm going to wait a little bit. I mean, I don't really have anything to talk about. I didn't ask for people to send me questions. I probably should have. There might be questions from the, what's it called? The podcast. I already forgot what it was called. So I'm going to go to there and see if people have submitted questions to there. But, oh, maybe it's unlisted. Let me make sure that the live stream is not unlisted. Because that'd be bad. Well, it's, huh. Let's check this out. Oh, it's unlisted. There we go. Now we should be rolling. I was wondering, I was like, where is everyone? That doesn't make sense. So now it should be public. And we'll see what happens now. Yeah, I was just talking to myself for a little while. That was fun. Okay, so let me check this out. Actually, let me see if I can see if YouTube is on my phone. What's going on there? Because if I can see it there, that means that it is live. Why is this so hard every time for me to do? To figure out if this is actually live or not. Yep, it's live. Okay. So I'm gonna go to questions and see what I can find. Podcast question form. Yeah, we'll just see what people have submitted. I'm gonna have to go back and go through a lot of this. I need to catch up so much on this podcast. Man, there's so much stuff that has happened. You guys are supposed to just stay calm and not do anything. So, hey, ZenCuber, we've got the first person to comment. You win the prize of being first. I'm doing good. It is the morning, so I'm still waking up. But let's see here. Oh, so I'm going to answer some questions from until people ask here. Ask about the podcast question form. And I'll probably re-answer some of these anyways, but someone asked about polarities. If they take their cube apart, let's say they have a magnetic puzzle and they take it apart and they put it back together and they change the color scheme, polarities will not be messed up because every single edge points the same way, points north or south, and every corner points the other way. So you could take it apart, you could take all the pieces off, you could switch one edge for another, and it's still going to be perfectly fine. So, but yeah, let's answer some of those. Thank you very much. It is my birthday podcast, and I still have to work, and I still need to do work around the house because I am selling this house and moving. So I have a lot of stuff I need to do today. But what is the fifth letter of your name? I think you mean letter. Like an N, or you mean my last name, Bouquet? If you're, I don't know if this is just a silly question or you're actually serious. So in bouquet, there's the E with the accent aigu. It's still an E with an accent aigu, which is that little accent that way. Same thing you'd see in the word cafe or latte or resume. But it's not legally in the letter. I don't know if that's even legally possible because I actually changed my name to that. My name used to not be that. That's a whole other thing I'm not going to go into here. But they wouldn't let me put the accent aigu in the E. They just typed in E. And whenever I type it online, like if I type the accent aigu, yes, I do read the comments there. Whenever I type it in, sometimes it's fine. Sometimes they just remove the E altogether. So it's B-O-U-C-K, which that's not my name. And then there's sometimes, I don't know why, it changes the E with an accent aigu to a capital A followed by a copyright symbol. I don't know why. I don't know why it does that. The only thing I can think of is some key command doesn't register, because maybe on some computers, when you type the E with an accent, it doesn't register as an E with an accent. It registers as some different character altogether, and it just doesn't know how to convert that. But okay, so let's see here. Oh, there's a question. Oh, someone submitted a question asking my birthday was, or I was born in 1986. So I'll let you guys figure out how old I am. But so people have entered still in the question form for the podcast asking how to enter the giveaway. Or no, like this is my entry for the giveaway. But sorry, Zenkeeper. I have no giveaway right now. I've done like 20 this year with all the ones in the podcast. I actually think I might be stopping the podcast ones because I gave away a lot of my extra ones that I think are worth giving away. Like I could give away this extra Guhong, but no one wants it. There might be a collector who wants it, but you can still buy them, so it's not really worth it. Like I've got like 3 Chi 4x4s that are like the Storm and a couple of the other ones that are the budget ones. And I don't think I'm going to be using those anymore because I don't need them for a comparison. I'm not going to be using them for a budget comparison. I'm not going to be using it for a mega comparison probably anymore. But they're cheap enough to where I can't just like give them away because the cost of shipping will be way more than even the cube itself. So I've yet to figure out what to do with that. If you guys have any idea, my thinking is I'll bring it to a competition and just like hand them out or give them as like prizes. I don't know. It's really difficult to figure out what I'm going to do for that. So if you guys have ideas, like I said, doing giveaways and shipping them would not be reasonable. It wouldn't make any sense. Like it would cost me less to buy a brand new like Wooshway than it would be for me to ship a Chi Storm across the world. So yeah, so that's not going to happen there. I do have both Thunderclap 4x4s, the mini and the full size. I did a review of them. I didn't like it. It's not bad. Like someone could use it, but as far as a smaller size, I still like the Cyclone Boys G4, the Yushin Blue. Although Yushin Blue seems to pop a little bit. They really need to update that to fix that one issue. But it wasn't a big hit for me. It felt like a just not as good 4x4 compared to the Wooshway. It wasn't like the Thunderclap 3x3 was a great 3x3. It could be your main, and it just felt different than other ones out there. I've shipped cubes. I've shipped stuff all around the world. So yeah, India, China, a couple things to Europe, South America. So yeah, they're all over the place. As far as how I lubricate or set up puzzles, I get that a lot. Like you can just put your G4 back together. I've got a tutorial on that. People ask, how do I lubricate or set things up? It just depends on the puzzle. Like here's my mini one. I've got the mini one right here. And it was a little bit too fast out of the box. So I used some heavy lubrication. And then I just wanted it to feel a little bit softer without getting slower anymore. So I used some of the like Cosmic. I've got some right here. The Rain, which it's not called Rain anymore. I think it's Nebula, maybe? I don't know. But there's no set way. And then how do I tension it? I don't know. However I want to tension it. So as far as tutorial for Winter Variation, I probably won't do any more with that because Winter Variation, most of the cases, a lot of the cases are just do insert and then soon. So for example, like this one. And I think I showed this one in the video where you insert it and then you have this one facing the back. It's literally just you insert it and then soon from the back. And a lot of them are soon. I might do one on COLL. I've learned all of them except for the soon cases. And a lot of people, most people say don't even worry about the soon cases because it's faster just to do like soon and then OLL instead of the actual COLL case. And actually I'm slower with pretty much all of the COLL cases, but for one-handed and big cubes, I usually use them just because since that's slower to turn anyways, it could be much more beneficial. And also with one hand and big cubes, doing a U perm, H or Z perm is much nicer than doing like a G because you can just do it like a 2-gen kind of thing. What happened to all my cubes? I'm packing them up. Actually, I'm gonna move the camera around for just a second. You can see my box, my big box of puzzles right there. They're like almost, oh man, that box is so heavy right now. So they're all in there right now. I might just tear all of these cubes down on the Yoshi wall and make a new one, but I just don't really know what I'm going to do with those ones. Like what I don't know what I would want to use, what I want to make, because I like that one so much. That one turned out so good. The Pokemon ones were great. That was one of my favorite ones. as well. It's one of my favorite videos. I always have afternoon coffee as well. I was trying to cut back on coffee because, there are reports like coffee's bad for you and then coffee's good for you and then coffee's bad. Now it's kind of like, there could be some good things, but it's not going to kill you. And since I teach violin lessons sometimes for almost 8 straight hours, I want to make sure my last student has just as much energy as my first from me. And so I drink my coffee. Okay, you're learning ZBLL right now. I learned UNT and if you can learn full ZBLL, it's totally worth it. Like Felix has been learning ZBLL, and he I don't know about his newest world record average, but he used ZBLL twice in his old world record average, and his new 5x5 single, he used ZBLL. I don't know what the setup was, but what he'll do is if it's like, I don't know, some sort of case like this, he'll just orient edges and then do a ZBLL, and it might be like half a second faster, but it's definitely helping out. You just have to make sure you can recognize it fast enough and execute it. But perfectly flat layer making for. I have thought about magnetizing all those makings. I haven't tried magnetizing one yet, and it was my favorite puzzle for a long time. And magnetizing it, right now, I think I have the biggest force cube collection. I don't think there's anyone in the world who has that many force cubes. And if you don't know what a force cube is, it's where you take a stickless puzzle, take them apart, and put them back together as one solid color. I think it's called force cube because you're I don't know. There have actually been a few different reasons why. I think someone said that it's because you're forcing it to be competition legal when stickless weren't competition legal. But anyways, all except for the black and the primary one, the undyed plastic, are force cubes. So there's 14 force cubes and 2 other ones because the white ones were technically force cubes too. So I think I've got the world's largest collection of those, and I don't think anyone's ever going to beat it because Moyu used to have 3 different types of stickerless puzzles. Now they just have one. They just have their bright, but they had a pink one, which they don't make anymore. YJ still does that, and Moyu and YJ are no longer together. And then they had the regular colors, which were just sort of like a darker of everything. It was dull. It was. Do I have anything? I don't have anything with me right now that's like that, but it was like it looked gross. Anything could beat CFOP, but ZZCT, I think that was very hyped. Even Chris Tran is not doing full ZZCT anymore. I think he's doing ZZC something. Can't remember, but it's if less move count is always good. Like Rue, when Kian finally got first place in the first round of Worlds, everyone was like, wait, Rue is viable now. And up until then, Rue was more of a joke being viable, but now a lot of people sort of calmed down with being a joke. So, yeah. Chi Year Volt. I'm guessing you're talking about the square one. I really don't do square one. I like the Chi one better. But if you like more stable, the Volt would be the way to go. What do I think about the world record single? I think even he is shocked. I'm going to call him Steve because I don't know how to pronounce his name in I think it's Korean. But he the solve is so cool though. If you check it out, he does a double X cross, and it's not a pretty straightforward double X cross. I was looking, I was like, I don't even know how he's going to do this. And I executed it. I was like, wow, that actually worked. So it's a really cool double X cross. And then he did OLL CP, which is kind of, think of it like COLL, but it's for any, it was, I think it was one of these cases, like the P case. And so it solves OLL and solves the corners, and happened to be a PLL skip, but it seemed like he recognized it. Even before he finished, he already had he dropped the cube. He didn't even have to recognize what it was. As far as main 3x3s, I really don't have one. I posted on Instagram the other day that I think I'm going to be using the GAN SM at the next competition. It might even be this. What I think I'm going to do though is, if you guys remember the board game, where's my board game? There it is. I made a speed cube board game. It's just kind of, if you break a certain time, you move forward. If you don't, you stay back. And there's a couple things I think about adding, as far as if you have the smallest, what's it called? The Oh, standard of deviation. So certain things can give you more points at the end. So once someone reaches a finish line, someone else could actually win if they have a better standard of deviation or something like that. And so I think I'm going to do that with the GAN SM, the Mini Cubing Classroom, the GTS, and the Valk, and just do like one game board and see who wins, and whoever wins would be the cube I use. That's kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to do, but we'll see. So someone's asked about DNM versus Silk versus Lubical. Well, Lubical is the one that's like that black stuff, isn't it? So I don't really use so much anymore. The Silk was kind of cool, although I think that's more, it almost seems like natural oils. Like I've actually have some natural oils that I want to try out. DNM I didn't like, actually. It was really cool the first time I tried it. I was like, wow, this worked great. And then it kind of felt like it slowed things down pretty fast. Like I would rather still just stick with Maru and let that dry out and then just add a couple more drops. I felt like that one I prefer the feeling of it if I'm trying to speed up a puzzle. We should consider being method neutral to get faster. Like, well, if you could be method neutral, I know people have tried being method neutral, being like where you could do Ru, ZZ, or C5, depending on what it is. But for example, and I do this often. I do what they call free fop, and I don't like the name free fop because it's so vague, and a lot of people consider free fop as doing specifically Ru and then C fop. Some people really it's just not specifying which cross or piece you use first. So, for example, like let's say I've got these two orange pieces here. I could do something that's kind of like, I guess, ZZ, where I just build a block first. And I've done this a couple times in actual, oh, that's not right. What did I want to do? Well, I guess that could work. But where I'll like fill out some of it, and then I will insert the final edge piece. And it's not anything super tricky to do. It's just, there's a couple ways to insert the cross edge without messing up the other pieces. And that's really the trick to it, just knowing how to insert the final cross edge or a couple cross edges without messing up what you've already inserted its first pairs. But if you can't hear me, it's probably you, because no one else has said they cannot hear me. If I could only keep 5 cubes I own, which 5 would you keep and why? It would probably be a set of like 3x3, 4x4, 5x5, 6x6. I'm finally getting into that. Okay, big cubes are hard to practice because like when I started 6x6 just a couple weeks ago, and of course I've solved before because I've had to test out cubes, but it wasn't like going as fast as I can. It's just testing corner cutting, testing things like that. But the 6x6, the first solve I did that I timed was like 8 minutes, and then I got a 7-minute something, then a 6-minute something, and then I was like stuck at 6 for a while. I got like a 4:20 something yesterday, but 4:30 is the cutoff at the competition on December 3rd or December 2nd, Shaker Fall 2017. So I've got to beat that. I've got to get to that. As long as I get below 5:15, I can get a recorded time. If not, it just doesn't work at all. But yeah, so that's where that is. Although this is for sure what I'm going to use, the new Wuhua 2. Okay, I'll spill the beans. This GAN 4x4, it's not real. I usually don't like make jokes or troll online with posts, but all of the GAN posts looked like this, almost had these very rounded centerpieces. Is that chipped? No, it's just kind of looking weird in the camera. But yeah, I had these really rounded centerpieces. This is a Kong's Design Maying, and of course I had an extra GAN logo because they give you a couple in the packages. The Kong's Design Maying, I would say, to me, is one of the biggest disappointments in cubing in cubes, because the Maying, or that's the Mayu, I keep saying Maying, I think. The Maying itself is one of the best 3x3s. It really pushed the market of, like, the Yuxiao was kind of a copy of the Maying, and then everything, a lot of those things were copies off of that. But, yeah, so everyone had these high hopes for the Mayu, and it was just slow and didn't really work super well, so... Anyways, yeah, sorry for messing with you guys. I have to spill it, though, because I don't want to keep messing with people. I want you to realize, like, yeah, that's not actually a real thing right now. They're working on it. I don't think it's going to come out pretty soon, although GAN is pretty good at keeping secrets. Like, when they came out with their RCS, the Rubik's Speed one, like, there were some images earlier on, but they didn't look real. And yeah, they brought that out, and that's a good one. That works. Super crazy cuber, you could not get a shout out. Actually, that brings up a thing. People often will talk about like, hey, give me a shout out on your channel. And I had someone just a few days ago that's like, could you do a face reveal and do a shout out? And I'm like, have you seen my channel? Like, I show my face all the time. And he's like, yeah, I watch it all the time, which I just didn't dive farther than that. But I get asked almost every single day to do a shout out for at least 1 or 2 people. And someone yesterday started arguing, is like, you don't be selfish, give me a shout out. I'm like, that's literally, you're asking to single out one person. It's hard to do that. And I've tried, like, I respond to everyone on Facebook. I think of the like couple and 2.5 years I've been on here, I've had to block like 3 people, like 3 out of how many thousands, maybe. I'm happy with that, but it's just, I try to talk with everyone and answer everyone's questions. What's a broken looking 3x3 in front of Yoshi? It's well, there's 2, I guess. There's this thing that you could be talking about, which is Nathan Wilson's build that he sent to me. This is the void cube that he turned into, I forgot what he called it, but it's actually, it turns and it moves and everything. Then this, if you talk about this, which is the glitchy looking one, is from Twisty Texas, from Casey Weaver, which I'm surprised is not on here, although he's probably asleep because he's in Texas. So if he watches this, I'm gonna give him a shout out. He's the one who made that Bump Sanity 11x11, and that's insane. He asked if I wanted to get it shipped to me after JR Cuber checked it out, stuff like that, and I was like, as much as I'd like that, the amount it would cost for shipping, and I would show it, and then it's like saying exactly what maybe JR did, and I really don't want to spend the time to solve a Bump 11x11. So I was like, just send it to other people that might use it more. But yeah, the 5x5, this is really cool. This honestly is like the best fidgety thing, because it's always 3 moves away from being solved, and so literally you can just sort of spin it around and it's solved again. But what's the best 2x2? Did I pack my 2x2s away? I did not. I've got a lot of them right here. So honestly, there is no best. And this is even more so than 3x3s, because if you look, some people use the Yushin White, some people use the Jinghen, some people use the Chuan, some people still use a Wei Pokes, it's very nice, stable. Some people now use the Wuxia. And then there's no 2x2 at the next competition, but I'm liking the Wuxia M. It has a very good, it's not too, like, I like the Wei Poke because it felt really stable, but I'm thinking I liking that more. But my times are literally the exact same. The Kung Fu one even could be great as well. In front of Yoshi. I don't know what you're talking about. That's the metal one. That's the Armadillo Cube. That's a 2x2. That's actually the Wei Po. This is my fidget spinner. So I don't know what you could be talking about. Looks like it has no caps. Oh, I think you're talking about this one. This is metal. This is my metal cube. Sorry for blinding people. But I actually, if you watch there's an unboxing, the Craigslist unboxing, that one is, I find that metal cube. I bought like a big box from Craigslist. Didn't even know what was going to be in it. I knew some stuff, but I bought this box and there was just a ton of stuff and it was great. And that was one of my favorites. As far as the assembly tutorial, it's actually, I assemble a, what was it? It was a Kung Fu Kang Fang, or how it's pronounced in the video. So just look for like 4x4 assembly or 4x4 assemble. They assemble pretty much the exact same. So they'll be the same. What's the best 6x6? I can't answer that. I'm going to assume that Felix and oh shoot, I'm drawing a blank. Kevin are going to still use the Yushin Red. And just because that's what they've used, they already have it, they've gotten used to it. Felix has broken a ton of records with it already. But if you want something more stable, like my big issue with the Yushin is misalignments. If you're accurate, you won't get those. If you're accurate, or if you tighten the tensions. The Wuhua is going to be a little more accurate and more stable, which is what I like. I thought about making my logo with the mosaic, but the problem with the mosaic is that it's 24 by 24 pixels. And the logo, I tried. Whenever I do one of these, I draw out a 24 by 24 grid, and I figure out what it's going to look like before I make it. Like, so that's where like Yoshi, I figured, okay, I'll do the blue for that, and it works. But my logo doesn't, because it's too the angles don't quite work. Okay, despite the controversy around the Red Bull Rubik's, what do you think would be the best way to do the Rescreamable event? In my mind's come out. Is that where there's a scrambled puzzle and you try to solve the solved one into the scrambled state? I don't know. Okay, so the Red Bull thing, I think itself is a fine idea, but it's just how they're running it. Like, even Dana came out and she's like, they're not doing what they said they're going to do. Like, I thought they were working with WCA. Watch her video. Look up Dana Yee's channel if you're not subscribed to it. But she talks about it a little bit more, and she was involved in the making of that video. She's in that video. She's wearing a cubicle shirt too, which is kind of interesting. So as far as how it is, like, almost a lot of sports have different organizations, and it's not, and some people are worried this is going to fracture. Like, some people are going to be part of this group and some people are going to be part of this group. There's not many Rubik's, there's not many of the Red Bull like competitions. So what it looks like let's say skateboarding, even there's a main organization, then like I think Red Bull has their own just competitions that people do. It's kind of like a all-star game, and then that's it. So I don't think it's going to fracture things. I don't think it's going to be a happy thing. I think they really need to. I know Red Bull, they've already came out and made like sort of an apology and described what they're trying to do more. But if they can make things more open and get people to feel okay going to there and not feeling like they're being a traitor to any organization, it could be a really good push for things. I wouldn't relate it all to any of the lawsuits though. So although we'll see. I'm not going to say too much more about it. I'm just going to kind of let it be. But I'm still not worried that it's going to like fracture things or that the WCA is going to stop doing competitions, because that doesn't make any sense at all. But I'm not going to solve anything on camera right now because I find that very boring to watch. Like, I'll maybe show, like I showed something early on 3x3, but nope, I find it kind of boring to watch. I did a blind solve last one, and everyone's like, okay, and I didn't get 100% on it. I kind of missed a couple edges because I was trying to do it fast and not really think too much. But people like just stop watching because they're like, well, this is boring. I don't need to watch someone sit in silence and solve a puzzle. I have solved that. The big cube. Someone asked if I solved the big cube, and I have solved that. Whenever I brought it to elementary schools, I've done some presentations, and they like seeing that and solving it. It's funny. I'll pull it out and you just hear, whoa! All these kids are like super pumped about it. Favorite food? I think pizza, but good pizza. I'll usually like make my own pizza and not just like order some crummy stuff. How many cubes in my collection? I don't know. I did a cube collection video. Oh, I just spilled coffee. Oh no, do I have? I do have, okay. I did a cube collection video back at the end of last year. I'm going to probably do another one once I unpack my stuff. Like, I think I might do the video as I unpack things. But I don't know how many. There were over 300 before. I've given some away. I've gotten new ones, but I don't do this to get a collection. That's one thing I think some people don't understand. My goal was not to collect puzzles. Now, there's some things that I have these 64 Guanlongs because, you know, you need puzzles to make a mosaic, and I thought it looked kind of cool. And there are my Mayings. The Mayings are some of the ones that I kind of got because I wanted to have something like that. Then I have some of these other things that like Casey's made and Nathan's made, and then I made this one. I almost want to take the stickers off and resand it and fix it because it's not super flat. And so there's some of those things, but I don't do this for a collection. The problem is I can't give things away when I might need it for a comparison or a review. So name the cube on your left that looks like a house. Well, it is a house. But there's a couple houses. These are sticker mods from Nathan, or not Nathan, sorry, Casey. And this one is from Nathan. It's one of the ones he did in his last 30 builds in 30 days video. I'm never going to scramble this one up. I did a video on it though, so you can check that out. I've done about 20 giveaways already this year. I'm not going to do one right now. I probably won't do one for a little while, but like I said earlier, I'm probably going to stop the giveaways on the podcast because that was a lot to do every 2 weeks. But I think what I might do is still just do random ones like I did in the past, where it'll just be a video that's just a giveaway. As far as lubing it, so I was talking about. Oh, sorry, I should say what I'm reading. If you got like something like a cute, like a GAN Air SM, when do you have to start lubing it again? Could be the moment you get it, or could be never. It's all on your personal preference. There's no set time like the lube will expire in a week and a half. No, you might like with a lot of lube, no lube. You might like how it turns after some of the lubrication dries out. The lubrication might not dry out for very long if it's more humid in the air. There's no set way. So, actually, I thought I had a thing. Hopefully, no one's comments are getting blocked. I put like a filter on, and let me see if the filter is here anywhere. Maybe I have to go to the community settings. Maybe it'll be where the normal chat stuff is. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, maybe not. Hopefully, people's stuff isn't getting blocked. So if someone's going to do a giveaway, please do it like Felix and DG Cubes. I think you mean where it's like a where you have to find something to do something. I usually do questions on the website because then I can easily filter those out and actually have something. You can't see it. This tower on my next giveaway, I think I have to answer a question. I think I might ask, what are those puzzles? Some of them are going to be tricky because some of them look just like another one, but you kind of have to figure out based on the size and what they look like by like the corner angles. And people have been kind of bummed when I do that because they're like, well, people who know their puzzles are going to get it more. I had someone who won one of those question ones. It was like a 10 question thing. And he had like just started cubing, but he went to like Speed Cube Shop and looked through their puzzles and was like, okay, that one looks like that. So let me look for 3x3s, and was able to get a lot of them correct because of that. And I think that person actually won. So yeah, it's Cracking the Cube, a good book. I love that book. That is one of the best books I'd recommend. There are times that it's a bit over the top as far as how it describes cubers, where it's like it's twisting and turning in every different direction, and it's stuff like that it's silly and over the top, but it works especially well for people who are just getting into cubing. But there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know, like things. My favorite thing, I talked about this in my video where I first showed the book of, and I think I talked about this in the interview that I had with Ian Scheffler. Like even something like Why the T-Noodle app, which is the app that they use to get the scrambles for competitions for official WCA ones. Why it's called T-Noodle. And it goes into why it's called that. And it goes like how he was backstage with Felix and Mats and during the 03 World Championship. And so a lot of really cool stuff. Do I have a GAN 2x2? It's on order. It should be coming in. I don't think GAN sent out tester ones this time, so I wasn't able to get that, but I have it pre-ordered. So whenever Speed Cube Shop gets them and sends them out, I will have it and I'll talk about it there. Okay. Some other stuff. Let's see here. Little Magic or MF3 RS2. I've talked about in the video. Go to the review of the MF3 RS2 because in that review, I compare them and go through the difference. They really have different types of feel to them, where the Little Magic is much more squared off and much more boxy shaped, while the RS2 is more rounded. And as far as performance, they just perform a little different. So I go through that there. How long did it take me to make Mosaic? The Mosaic doesn't take too long to make. I think it's like ends up being about 20 minutes to do all of it once I know the design, because the design I do on the side and I pre-draw it and edit it and figure that out. So the design could take hours for me to find something that I really like. Like for the this one where I did like the Nintendo, there was a couple other designs, like a couple other Yoshis I was trying, a couple other Marios. Like the Mario one I did where he was swimming, and I originally didn't, but it didn't turn out that well. Does a square corner piece make the cube better? This was a big thing a few years ago when you started seeing squared off corners, and GAN was not the first one to do this. Actually, I think there was More You might have been the first one I remember seeing where it was rounded pieces but squared off corners. And a lot of people felt like it made it worse at first. And then more people used them. And then people said it was catching, but it was more catching because tensions were so loose that the pieces were flexing. And now almost every single puzzle except for the new Yushao Pro has squared off corners. So I think it prevents corner twisting a lot more. But as long as the pieces are shaped in a way and you have it tight enough where it's not going to flex, squared off corners are definitely going to be kind of the big thing to do. Oh, the drawing down there. So there's a little caricature drawing. It was at a wedding. I played ceremony music at a wedding, and I knew the couple, so like, yeah, stay for the reception. And there was a caricature artist, and I had a cube. Let me turn this down just a little bit so you can see it. I had a puzzle with me, and I was like, "Can you draw it with me with the puzzle?" And he's like, "Yeah," and he starts drawing it. And as he drew the puzzle, after he finished, he goes, "The puzzle kind of turned into a small building." So sorry about that. So I thought it was even funnier. So I'm just holding a small building in my hand pretty much. Squared off corners on a 2x2 would not work because it's just corners. The squared off corners, you don't really have a twisting issue on 2x2 much at all. And so that's the whole point of the squared off corners. And especially because they're squared off and there's no center cap, they're just catching on each other. GAN already said they're making a 4x4. Someone asked if they're making one. They're already going to make one. They've already said they're going to make one. It's just sort of an idea of when it's going to happen. But when they announced online, they asked people to say what they want to see. And so people are saying either 60 or 62 millimeters, the feeling they want. And so that tells me they haven't even really started it. Or they've at least done some planning, but don't know where to go with it or which kind to make. So I don't think it's like around the corner. Someone said they saw it where it was like going to be possibly December of this year, but never take dates like on their face value for that cube companies say, because I don't think that's ever something you should take seriously. So I've never had corner twisting on my Chew-Wen. If you do, tighten it up. Tighten up your puzzle. And if as far as for a what's the best feeling 4x4 budget cube, feeling is personal preference. But I talk about budget puzzles like the Kung Fu King Feng, or however it's pronounced, the Cyclone Boys G4. The Cyclone Boys Fei Ting, I think I like better than the G4, although it's smaller and I magnetized it. So I don't remember exactly, without magnetizing, it's really flexible. But I was going to look up some other questions from the podcast that I have not been able to answer. And I'm like, yeah, I'm angry. You guys, you're supposed to not have anything happen since I stopped the podcast, and world records are being broken and Rubik's is suing people. But I'd have to go through these. So maybe this is not the best thing to go through. I answered a couple at the very beginning. Somebody asked though, if I think 8x8 will become an event. No, I don't think it'll become an event because there's no reason to. They already have a big enough puzzle. Doing anything bigger would be ridiculous. I've heard about the Volk Power. Don't know what it is. Honestly, my thought is it might just have magnets in it. They might strengthen the corners. So what they did in the Wuhua is they have a more thicker corner stock. And so what they might do is instead of on, can I open this up? Yes, I can. Instead of on this where it's 3 pieces that connect here and then have a cap on it, what they might do, and this is just an assumption, is have just a solid stock and then the 3 corners go around the center stock instead of the stock being part of the corner. And I think that would strengthen it a lot. So that's my assumption, although they didn't do it for the mini, so we'll see. Do I think cubing will still be popular after 10 years? It's already been like 40 years, so of course it's still going to be popular. There's phases. Maybe it'll calm down a little bit, and then it'll pick up again on the 50th anniversary, and everyone will start cubing again. A lot of cubes have hard names to pronounce. Who has let's see here. Oh, okay. So if anything's blocked, it actually just has me click on it. How long have I been cubing? So I started cubing. I've talked about this in a lot of videos on the 40th anniversary Google Doodle day. I got a Rubik's Cube. I already packed it up, like my stickered one. I've re-stickered it though. I kind of wish I didn't know, but I bought a Rubik's Cube and started then. So it's been about 3.5 years now. So DM Cuber, I am not gonna shout you out. I made a thing earlier in the video about shouting things out though, so I don't know if I'm gonna do that anymore because a lot of people are gonna start asking now. So that's about. Oh, went too far. I scrolled way too far. Okay, how do you pronounce Chi? So I say Chi because I think I actually asked Chi directly and they said that. There's a lot of interesting pronunciations though of things like now Sheng Shou is sort of the way to pronounce it. A couple years ago it was Sheng Shu, and like someone like Chris Olsen said Sheng Shu, and I get so much, like at least once a month, someone's still commenting on videos from a couple years ago about like, oh, you're saying Sheng Shu, that's wrong. Like that's what everyone said at that point. And then it was Sheng Shao before that. So it changes. And I think it might just be our knowing more the pronunciation, or just some people who you trust to say it correctly, say it incorrectly, and then it just goes crazy from there. So as far, yeah, see, Shang Shu, exactly, that's what it is. Okay, as far as, actually, I was going to go through my puzzles right now of what I was planning to use for Shaker Falls and why. So if it was tomorrow, I'd still use the GAN Air, but I talked about earlier, I'm going to do the Rubik's board game and go through a few different puzzles and see which one wins, and then I'll use that one. I was planning on using the mini Cyclone Boys Fei Ting and for 4x4, but I was kind of going back and forth. I like it so much better because it's so much easier to control. It just feels like a 3x3. But the Whoosh Wave performs just more smoothly. It doesn't really flex as much. And so I realized I need to get used to bigger puzzles because I'm so used to smaller ones. Bigger ones just feel awkward. So I started using this. I still have my personal best on the Fei Ting, but I do seem to like this more. Actually, same thing. I've got like, yeah, the Zhanchi 2017. I've got some better solves on that than probably the Whoosh Wei, or not Whoosh Wei, Whoosh Wang? Whatever the 5x5 is, and then the 6x6, the Woohoo version 2. Do I know of any upcoming 3x3 cubes by GAN? I don't know of anything upcoming. I honestly think they're going to focus on getting the 2x2 out there, and then 4x4. And what's interesting is the 2x2 is going to be a Rubik's 2x2, but I don't see the Rubik's brand on it anymore. And I'm wondering if there's a reason. If maybe there was some sort of split there, like they were together and now something happened, they're going to not, or they just decided to put the GAN logo on it thinking it might sell better. I don't know, but that was something interesting, and that's why I was going to have caps and not actual stickers. GAN has made multiple stickerless 3x3s. Well, not multiple, but the GAN 3, I think, was the GAN 3. Do I have it here? No, I packed up my GAN cubes. But the GAN 357 was stickerless, and that was a good puzzle too. So they've made stickerless before. I don't know why they've decided to stop. Maybe it was because they stopped a couple years back when it was still not legal to use, and now it is legal. But how many competitions have I been to? Oh, my dog's actually might start barking. My wife just got home. So actually, before they go crazy, let's see them. Mojo is right here. Wait, there we go. There's Mojo. I'm gonna throw him a treat. Ready, Mojo? 1, 2, 3. Okay. And Emmett, he's got an inflatable collar on right now. Hey, Emmett. Because he keeps scratching his ear. Emmett. Okay, so he has an inflatable collar on because he keeps scratching his ear, and the cone, he'll like scratch himself in the cone, and that's not good. And so yeah, that's what it is. But okay, back to this. What's the drawing beside me? I just talked about a little earlier. It's a caricature drawing that someone did at a wedding, and I'm holding a cube, but it looks like a small tower. The best budget cube. There is no best. There's a couple good ones. The Warrior W, the Yushin Little Magic, even the Kung Fu. What's it called? Long Yun. That's what it is. And then depending on how cheap you want to go, there's also things like the Shengsho. the Pearl just came out, but that's really flexible. I kind of like the, what was it called? Not the Legend. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the something Yun, I think. Thing that pink Mega Minx and Max Parks contests. I don't know which one you're talking about. I've got a pink transparent one that's actually a Feng Shi Mega Minx, which the Feng Shi one's really good. I feel like it doesn't get enough hype. The camera I'm using right now is a Logitech HD 1080p. Okay, this is one thing actually I'm going to make a video on at some point. So David's asking, what are my PBs? I do not answer what my PBs are anymore or what my sub is. People can see videos I make on the channel, look at, solves maybe I'm doing in certain reviews, but I don't tell people what my PB or my sub is because, one, I cube for myself. I'm not cubing to try to compete with other people. And even if they're just curious and not trying to be competitive, it still makes it where the fact that other people might know what my PB is, to me, takes away some of the joy of cubing. And then also, a lot of people ask to see how they compare to me. And again, cube for yourself, not for other people. And so for me, even competitive, like friendly competition, if it's not competitive, it still has that connotation. If it is friendly competition, I do not like that. Like because I play violin, I've been in a lot of orchestras. The friendly competition in orchestras, I am really against. Like a lot of schools do, where people can compete to beat out someone else's chair where they sit. Even if it's friendly, it's still competitive, and it adds a more, when people are supposed to be working together, it takes that away. But so that's it. What else am I looking at? Yeah, I know I was thinking it was an X-Men Galaxy, but yeah, just different colored one. What software did I use to edit? I used to use iMovie, but I use Final Cut Pro. So I spent the $400, whatever it was, in Final Cut. And it's definitely worth it. iMovie was kind of starting to glitch on me a little bit too. Things weren't really loading properly. But yeah, so I use Final Cut now. I know it's not in everyone's budget, but it's not necessary. It's really not necessary. You could use iMovie or other free ones, and that's perfectly fine. Is a 356 Air good? Of course. Any of the modern cubes are, really. The Volk has a lot of spring noise. Is it caused by spring contact with the screw? All cubes have spring noise. If your cube has spring noise, it is just like everyone else's. Any cube really can. GAN is not as much because the springs are built inside of there. And actually, I found Volk isn't as much because the springs are cone-shaped, which is a little bit different. But it's the springs catching a little bit on the plastic or the washer. So just if you have lubrication, put a drop of lubrication on the spring, and that should fix it all. I was born in 1986. So someone asked, how old did I turn? I'm going to let them figure it out. The giant 3x3, I forgot what it's called, but like I think it's like Fei, F-E-I, not the Fei U. That's not right. Maybe Fei, but you can get it at different stores. Just type like big 3x3 or giant 3x3 or huge, and you should find it. So let's see. I actually might not be on here for too much longer, so I'm kind of finishing stuff up. What's my opinion on the single and the world record single? I talked about this just a little earlier in the live stream, that the solve is great. Like, it double X cross, and it's not a logical one. Like, I couldn't figure it out, and then when I executed what he did, I was like, oh well, it worked. And they did an OLLCP algorithm, which is also really cool. Oh, okay. So actually, I was going to talk about this too. ZenCuber, thank you for asking. Am I sponsored? Currently, no. I'm going to make a video going over this, and we'll see there's a lot of things changing right now, but it depends also what you mean sponsored. That places like Qi and Moyu and sometimes GAN will send testing products, ones to show. I don't consider that sponsored. I consider that just like getting some early production stuff. To me, sponsored is like getting paid to get things, or just being like, I want so-and-so, and they'll give it to me for free. There was, I'll say this more in another video, but there was someone who I was asked, you can get stuff for free. Is that what you can be part of this? And I was like, I don't want that. And so we found a way around that where I was still paying for it. A lot of it was through credit. I would get through different things, but technically, no, I'm not. But that might be changing. And when it does, or if it does, I'm going to make an announcement here because I want people to feel like they can trust what I say. I turn things down because I don't, and I've turned down just like money. People giving me like, we'll give you this money to be part of such and such. I've turned that down because this isn't my main job. I'm not making a big money off of it. Even if I did, it wouldn't be that much to live off of at least. But I want people to feel like they could trust what I would say and what I would review. But it's gotten to a point where it's so big and there's so much I need to do that things might be changing. But hopefully I'm still trustworthy. But someone said, what is it? I don't know what they're talking about. Oh, yeah. The 13 by 13 big and mass produced cube. What? I don't know what they're talking about. So anyways, for other people that have said it's a birthday, it's been a couple people. Happy birthday. Let's see here. What's the meaning of Mo Fang Yi? So Mo is actually magic and Fang is cube. So Mo Fang is magic cube, which is what the Rubik's Cube was originally called. And so like the cubing classroom is Mo Fang Jiaoxi. There's actually a company called Mo Fang. Mo Fang Yi, I don't know what the Gi stands for. I saw it somewhere once, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, Mo Fang is magic cube. And that's, I think that's the big part of it. That's what really people need to know with it. So yeah, I think I'm going to go for 5 minutes until 10:30. So if you have any questions, go for it. Ask some questions because I'm going to kind of finish things up. I have like 10 or 20 different videos planned out. Oh, there we go. Since I've had the wuxia for a long time, is it still similar to the Yushin White? Does the wuxia pop? I haven't had too many pops at all on the Yushin White either. I think I had one and then I tightened the tensions. The anti-popping thing is a little bit different on the wuxia. They are similar, and I talk about it in the video. I'm not going to talk about it more because apparently there's some real company issues going on with one or the other. I don't know what it is, but I'm not gonna speak for the other companies. But I haven't had any pops on my wuxia, and I haven't had pops on the Yushin White after I've tensioned it the way I like. Do I have the Yushin 8x8? I don't have the 8x8. I have the 9x9, and then do I have the 11x11? No, it's the 9x9. And then, drop my phone. And then I don't plan on getting other ones just because, again, I don't want a collection. I have no reason to get the 8x8. Regardless of personal views, who do you will win the suing case? Okay. I'm not going to talk too much about the lawsuit, because I'm not a lawyer, like I said in the other thing. And people were upset with that video. There was one person, he asked me to make a video or asked if I'm going to make a video. To me means, could you make a video talking about this? So I made the video talking about this, talking about the lawsuit. My views are that as of right now, us like berating Rubik's online might be a negative thing, and that there's not much we can do with that. I mean, if they see that we don't like it, yeah, I could see that making some influence, but I'm sure they know that people are not going to like when other companies are getting sued. And I just said, let's sort of relax with it, so it happens. And as far as the Red Bull thing, I actually think it might be a good thing, as long as they're a little more cooperative and not feeling like they're trying to, make a rift. And the person got really mad and claimed that I made the video for the views, as if I wasn't just asked to make the video. But anyways, that's a whole nother thing. I'm not going to answer what I think will happen, because as far as that goes, there's much more in play. And us saying, like, how dare you sue a company? Your cubes are just not good enough, doesn't change the fact that they feel that their design or trademark, whatever, is being copied. No, I can't figure out the right word, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. Do you give cubes for those who ask for candies? I think you meant candies. I've done about 20 giveaways this year already. I'll do more stuff. What did I get? The 4x4 mirror cube. I did an unboxing like a week ago. The 4x4 one, it's also magnetic. And this was Twisty Text. He's got his logo right there. Whoop, there we go. It's a magnetic. It's actually a Kung Fu King Fang. It's so nice. This is just fun to solve. Hopefully someone reminds me. I want to bring it to Shaker Fall so other people can try it too. I don't think Red Bull wants to be the boss of cubing. Red Bull does like lots of competitions. They do things with other sports, and it ends up just being like an all-star match, and not where it's like Red Bull's all the things. It's just them trying to be like, we want to put on something too. Again, you know, there's other issues. And Dana, go to Dana Yee's YouTube. She made a big video on it. She can speak more than I can because she was actually there recording the video with them. Okay, so I think that's about it. I've been talking a lot. Let's see here. Did we talk about jack-o'-lantern? I don't have a jack-o'-lantern. Where do I live? I live in Michigan. I've talked about that many times because I go to Michigan competitions. Although Shaker Falls is going to be Ohio, so that's going to be fun. So as far as people talking about, this is another thing, talking about cubes being worth it. Any cube out there is worth it, depending on what your preference is. Like getting an older, not older, it's not super old, but like a store-bought Rubik's brand could be worth it if you want something that doesn't have stickers, that has tiles, that's stable, that doesn't pop, that's just a travel one. I showed a video on Instagram. I did a very slow turning Rubik's solve, and it was like a 16 or 17 second solve, and it was just to show it's not a bad puzzle. But yeah, any cube is worth it, depending on what you're trying to get out of it. The SM is like the most expensive, but you get a ton of stuff with it. You get a bunch of springs, you get, you know, extra stickers. You can really alter it however you want it to feel. I wish it would come with lubrication, like a little bottle of lubrication or something. Even smaller than this is fine, just because, you know, that little extra bit to show like this is the all-around package. Like even the Rubik Speed Cube came with lubrication. But anyways, I think I'm going to answer a couple more things real quick. How much money is the Mirror 4x4? You can make it yourself. Casey is super generous, and he's uploaded on twistytext.com the 3D printing file, I guess. I don't know what it's called. But if you have access to a 3D printer, or you can go to other companies that can print them for you, and here's the file. It's free. You just get them printed and attach them yourself. So really, it's the cost of a cube and 3D printing, and then it's all on you. So it's actually kind of free, ish, kind of. So, okay. Thank you very much, you guys. This was a blast. I need to get some work done. I need to clean up this room a little bit more. I need to do some sanding and some painting. This room's going to be more and more empty, but hopefully, I don't know when we're going to move. We don't have a house we're going to live at yet, so we'll see what happens. It might be like a few weeks, and it might be not until the spring. So I don't know, but thank you very much for joining me. If you have any other questions, you can always write me. Facebook's exploding right now for me, so I can't really respond to everything, but I respond to almost everyone I possibly can, especially on YouTube. If you write on YouTube, even if it's a video that's like 2 years old, I will see it, and I will, as long as it's a question, I'll respond. When people say like, respond to me, I don't have a reason to. So, but if I have a question, I can actually try to answer that. But anyways, thank you very much. As always, leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Apparently this comment feed doesn't stay with the video once it gets uploaded. So if you want to say anything afterwards, once the video goes live as an actual video, you can post there. Hit like, subscribe, of course. Oh, Instagram. Go to Instagram. I'm almost at 9,000 subscribers. And not that I'm doing this for subscribers, but I want to post that meme with the over 9,000. Let that happen. Anyways, thank you very much. I'm rambling now. I'm going to go. I'm going to let it sit for about 5 seconds after I stop talking, because apparently it cuts early if I don't. So anyways, thank you very much. Talk to you later. Have a good one. And